Hello everyone, my name is Raushan and it's not always about English. I love consuming media and it is not just for the sake of learning English. I love movies, I love reading. I don't want to give myself the tag of a reader. I have always loved movies ever since I was a child, and one of the reasons I started my channel was to talk about those movies, but I don't remember when was the last time I actually talked about them here. And it's been almost a month since I have watched a film, but as I recently made my video of whatever I have read this year, I wanted to make a video about the films I had watched this year. I know my audience, they are here to learn English, and believe me, guys, watching movies can help you to learn any language. I'm one of those person who might have learned English accidentally. I told you that, of course, I have put some effort, but at the same time, I have always loved to entertain myself, whether from movies, books, and whatever manner I could, right? And that's why I have got this name, Raushan Escapes. And my students think that I'm running from someone, but I'm running from my own thoughts. Whenever I'm watching movie, I'm locked in. Maybe I should be locked in with my studies, but this is the thing. I'm just like for the 2 hours, for 1.5 hours, I'm into that world and I forget about really everything whatever is happening in my life. Last year I almost watched more than 100 movies, but somehow this year, because of YouTube and because I thought that I need to read more, I wasn't able to watch as much as movie I usually do. But still, I managed to watch some 50 movies. I'll talk about what I watched and why did I watch that movie and what was the highlight for me. So I have got my list here. So the first one is The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Why I watched this was because of the director, Yorgos Lanthimos. I guess I'm saying his name correctly. Whoever I admire, their names are really weird. I'm sorry. I should do research before recording my videos, but I always forget to do that. So I'm ready to watch anything from him. I remember watching The Lobster for the first time, and the best part about his movies are the absurdity. Like the dialogues are so quirky and like they're so weird and in a good manner. Like I don't know how to describe it. If you have seen any of his movies, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't watched, please watch just for the sake of absurdity. Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I watched it because of the film poster. It really looked cool. And it's a French movie, and if you are an adult only, then you should watch. Otherwise, just stay away from it. Again, the vibes. It is about this painter who goes to this island to make a portrait of this lady, and they fall in love, right? And then the story continues. You should check it out. Haider. So, Haider, why did I watch it? Because of the director again, Vishal Bharadwaj. I had heard a lot of him. My friend Divesh talks about him a lot, and I was trying to read William Shakespeare again that time. And Vishal Bharadwaj is known for his adaptations of William Shakespeare dramas, and Haider is of Hamlet. So I thought, let's give it a try, and boy, I was like, it's one of the greatest movie of our time. I mean, from Bollywood, from Indian cinema, I consider it one of the greatest because everyone's performance in this movie is out of this world. Be it Sahid Kapoor and of course Irfan Khan, and the music, dance, dialogues, everything. And I don't want to talk about the political thing in the. Just watch it for the sake of art and the amount of effort the director has put into this movie. The next movie is Black Swan. I wish I could say the film's director name correctly, but I will put a photo here. Darren Aronofsky, and again one of those directors whom I admire a lot because of the cinematography, the storytelling. They are really unique, and there is something about movies about obsession and passion that I can't help but to keep returning to those movies. Some of you might be aware of this movie called Whiplash, and this one is also about obsession, about being perfect, the art you are doing. And yeah, it's a great movie and disturbing too at the same time, but art wise it is a great movie. The next movie is Broker. It's a Korean movie, and for the past 3 years I have been watching Korean movies a lot. There is something about Korean movies, especially the vibe, the emotions they are able to evoke within you. Like you just cannot compare any industry with Korean movies. And especially this Hirokazu Koreeda. He's a Japanese filmmaker, but this movie is in Korean. Shoplifters, they are just like so unique, and they are able to evoke a kind of emotion within you that those movies feel real. I mean, really realistic. And even Broker, it's about this orphan group of people who are just trying to have a family. And like there is a lot of drama, and I love Korean movies. So this you should try it. Great movie. Next is The Holdovers, one of my favorites of this year, and I would say probably one of my top 10 movies. It's just so good. Like it's Christmas time, even though I don't celebrate Christmas, I want to rewatch it. I wish I was articulate enough to talk about this movie, and I can talk about it, but I will have to write. And it's a great movie, just so fun to watch if you are looking for something fun. And while I was reading this book, The Catcher in the Rye, somehow I was being reminded of this movie, and I really wanted to rewatch it. The next one is Punch Drunk Love, and I got to know about Adam Sandler and the kind of actor he is. Like I had never watched his movies, and I knew he is really popular, but boy, this movie is like so good. Especially while watching it, I was reminded of you know deleting history from my Chrome. It's kind of anxiety evoking movie, which I thought that this guy needs help. And it was a great love story, honestly. Saltburn. Stay away from this movie. I beg you to stay away from this movie. I know I'm not a weirdo, I'm not a pervert, but I really liked the cinematography, man. Like it was just such a clean movie, but the story creeped me out, especially the ending, dude. Just stay away from this movie. And I was reading The Lord of the Rings at the time, so I went and watched the first part, The Lord of the Rings, nostalgia, non introduction. So great fantasy movie. If you want to watch fantasy, The Lord of the Rings. Sicario. Hope I'm saying the name correctly. Again, one of my favorite filmmakers. Denis Villeneuve is that guy. And he's known for his cinematography and of course the storytelling. Top film director. The cinematography is very intense. You will feel the real tension what's happening in the movie. You know the tension between America and its border. Like the way he's able to portray it. Amazing movie. 5 out of 5. Another Korean movie, Three Iron. I would not recommend it if you're not an adult. How should I describe this movie? Like I remember I have written perverts in my thoughts. Like I have written perverts, but it's a kind of love story where this guy goes and live in an apartment where people have gone somewhere else, right? Kind of pervert, but you can give it a try if you're looking for something unique. Next movie is an anime, and one of my favorites. Whenever I feel down to make my life more miserable, I go and rewatch it. A Silent Voice. It makes me cry every time I watch it. There is something about redemption and improving yourself, and I always find myself lifted. Like, of course, it makes me cry, but at the end of the movie, I feel like, of course, I can make improvement in my life. It's a great movie. Don't be alarmed because of the animation, because if it is an anime movie, you should definitely check it out. Again, Denny is here, and this time here in a theater to watch Dune Part 2, and I gotta say, Paisa was soul movie. Like everything was perfect. Of course, the movie is slow paced. I have been planning to read it for the longest period of time I can remember. Like I'm into sci-fi, and when I watched Dune Part 1, I thought, man, it is perfect time to read the book. But the book is really difficult. Honestly, language wise, it is really difficult. So hopefully this in 2025 I might read it. But the movie, let's talk about the movie. The movie is great. Watching it on a big screen made it more grand, with the atmosphere, the cinematography, the music. It felt like I was into a cult. Like there were only 13 people in that theater that day, but still I felt like I was part of a cult where everybody was shouting for that masiha, and it was a great experience. So if you're looking for a science fiction movie with great atmosphere, don't watch it. Poor Things. Again, Yorgos Lanthimos. I will watch anything from that dude. Like the kind of mind he has, the dialogues, the world he creates with his. And this movie is really unique. I mean, look at that these photos. Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo, William Dafoe, they all have nailed it. And especially like Mark Ruffalo, I loved his character in this movie. Please forgive me if I'm not saying their name correctly, but I'm going to put every photo here so you will get the idea whom I'm talking about. And Emma Stone, she really nailed it. Like even she got, I think, Oscar for it. And the world is great, and very unique movie, so you should definitely check it out. Decision to Live, another Korean movie which I rewatched, and one of my all-time favorite, like probably top 5 movies. Like I always say top 5 and it always changes, but definitely it is in top 5. And this film director, Park Chan-wook, quite a name, right? He's great filmmaker. I mean, watch any of his movies, you will get the idea of the kind of the kind of suspense he is able to create in that world, and the mystery, the vibe, again the vibe, and especially this movie, it shattered me in a manner that the ending, dude, really heart wrenching. Then I watched Killers of the Flower Moon, which I found really slow for me, so I slept on this movie. Then I watched Perfect Days. Perfect movie. There is no another word for it. Perfect movies, and I wish I could have that mindset of this main character. Like he cleans toilet, and he does it with such enthusiasm. He forgets about everything else. Like if he's at work, he will just clean it. If he's having lunch, he's in that moment. He takes a lot of pictures. He clicks a lot of photos. He reads a lot. I'm not that old, but maybe I'm turning into that life. But still, because of social media, I'm not able to have that mindset of being relaxed all the time. Wolf Walkers, another animated movie, and I watched it only because of the animation style. It was really unique and good movie. Something light. Next, I watched The Personal History of David Copperfield because I had completed the book and I wanted to see how I had imagined the character and how this filmmaker had created those characters. I wasn't disappointed, but it was really colorful in comparison to what I had thought. Novel, when you are reading novels, the plain text, you get through that imagination, right? You think about all those characters and something you imagine, and that's one of my favorite part. Whenever I finish a book, if there is a movie, I watch it, and I really enjoyed the movie. Because but it was like to adapt that book in a single movie, I don't think it's possible, but still I enjoyed it because of the colors. It was really colorful. The next movie is Colourful. It's an anime and it deals with really heavy themes, but it's a good movie. It will lift you up for some reason. I don't remember exactly what really happens in the movie, but I remember the main character commit. Then somehow he's reincarnated, and the story follows on. And it's about family, it's about trauma, and I think it also deals with mental health. So I don't know whether I should recommend it or not, but what I have written, this is what I have written in my review. Don't give up on yourself and on this film. So maybe you should check it out. Three of Us. This is an Indian movie. Whatever I have watched in past 5 or 6 years, this goes on the top of the list. I love this movie. I have watched it a couple of times. It's just so poetic. I have never seen anything from Indian cinema. Maybe October comes closer to this one, but again, the story, the amount of connection I felt with the characters, it really moved me. I highly recommend this movie. Next two movies are from same director, The Northman and The Witch. The director is called Robert Eggers, and his film has a really unique atmosphere. They are kind of horror. Uh, I don't know whether you have heard of Lighthouse, but this is a really creepy movie. The Northman. The Northman is about Vikings, and like there is magical surreal kind of thing. It's about warriors, and that's one of my favorite thing to watch, about warriors and mythology, I would say. And The Witch is also like a folk tale about Diane's Chudal. I found it really interesting that even in like culture wise, we are able to see so much folk tales. Like our folk tales are quite similar, and in The Witch I got to know that. So if you're looking for an atmospheric movie with a kind of element of horror and good cinematography, then check out the both of the movies. The next movie I watched, An Action Hero. It's an Indian movie of Ayushmann Khurrana, and it was entertaining, but I have given it 2.5 stars, so maybe I didn't have good time. Laapata Ladies, one of the most popular movies of this year, and I loved it. Innocent actors in the movie, the way they have acted, and the story, really heartwarming. I don't know whether this world is that pure yet, but still, it deals with women and not how they should not shy away from creating something of their own. The Boy and the Heron by Hayao Miyazaki, like my all-time favorite filmmaker, Studio Ghibli. I will watch anything from that studio. So finally, I was able to watch it on the big screen. Luckily, I was in Delhi, so I went to watch it with my friend Aryan, and we had a great time. Even though my friend was not able to understand the movie because this movie is the collection of everything Miyazaki has made, and it deals with, like, it's a kind of legacy kind of movie. Like, if you have watched any of Studio Ghibli movies, you will get references from all those movies. So I had a great time. Unfortunately, my friend didn't enjoy it, but art wise he was able to, but he didn't understand the story. Next is Godzilla minus one. I watched it just for the sake of hype. I didn't understand because I have never been interested in Godzilla, so I didn't enjoy it. The first slam dunk. I had read the manga, Takehiko, and the next name, I can't pronounce it. He's one of the greatest, greatest manga artist. I love everything from him. So when the first slam dunk was released, I wanted to watch it on the big screen, but it wasn't released even in Patna, or I can't even ask in my town. There is something about sports anime or sports movies that it moves me to my core. This movie made me shed tears, and it is completely different from that manga. Manga too, I love that manga too, and this story, like 5 out of 5. Next is Challengers. How should I describe this one? It also looks really pleasing. The music is great. If you are an adult, check it out. You will have good time. Then I watched Anna Karenina, and the movie is really unique one. I watched it right after finishing the book, and this movie is made into a kind of drama. Like some people are performing, the stages are moving in the movie, and it's a really unique movie. Joe Wright, the film director is Joe Wright. He is another of those filmmakers whom I really admire. I love Atonement, one of those depressing movies which I love, and Pride and Prejudice. He has directed that movie too. So if you are familiar with his work, then definitely you should check it out. Next one is Paris, Texas. I had heard a lot of this movie, but it was too slow for me. Maybe I wasn't into right mind space to appreciate the movie, but hopefully in future I'll watch it again. Catch Me If You Can. Really entertaining. Next I watched Mad Max Part 2, Furiosa, and really entertaining. I love Mad Max Fury Road, and this one I wanted to watch more of Tom Hardy, but I wasn't complaining. The next movie, I highly recommend it, and I really want to rewatch this movie. It is called 3000 Years of Longing. There is nothing I enjoy more than this kind of storytelling about jinn, about past, about Egypt, just about jinns. Uncut Gems is about gambling. The lead actor is again Adam Sandler, and the way he has acted in this movie, man, this movie will literally give you anxiety. I'm not a good gambler, and I never want to gamble in my whole life. Like, I can never relax. I remember putting bet on Dream 11. I used to not able to sleep. The kind of situation this main character was put into this movie, great, great experience. Then I watched Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters with my friends, and funny movie, entertaining, really entertaining. No smoking, and I watched it because of one of my friend recommended me. My friend Sudha, she told me to watch it, and I thought let's try, because Anurag Kashyap, he's the film director. And while I was reading, and while I watched this movie at the same time, for see the coincidence, I was reading The Trial by Franz Kafka, and this movie is so similar to it. And once I was done with it, I knew right away that this might have been inspired from that movie, The Trial. The next movie is again from one of my favorite directors from Japan. His name is Ryusuke Hamaguchi. The movie is called Evil Does Not Exist. And yeah, I don't know, like, the movie was good. Like, I'm sold because of the director, but the ending made me question a lot of things. So it's a really thought-provoking movie. Past Lives, another rewatch, and mm, I have got a lot of favorite movies, right? And this one goes to another, like, probably my top five. Number second, like number one, like three of us and Past Lives. I'm not able to decide which one is better. Both of the movies are great, and it shares a kind of similar vibe. And Past Lives always makes me cry. And yeah, great movie. The Great Gatsby, because of the book I was reading, and entertaining movie. Honestly, it was entertaining. Next is Stree 2. And I remember, yeah, I think I went to theaters with my friends, had a good time. And Stree, I still prefer Stree Part 1, but Stree 2 was good. Then I watched Manjummel Boys because it was really popular. I think it's a Malayalam movie, and yeah, if you're looking for something unique from our own country, then watch it. Next is Tumbbad. Watched it in theaters when it was re-released. Had a great time, and I'm not into horror, but Tumbbad is one of my favorites, man. Like I can rewatch it whenever I want to. If I'm able to return to a movies again and again, then I consider it my favorite. If I can watch a movie twice without feeling bored, then that's a top movie for me. So Tumbbad does it for me. So Tumbbad, like I highly recommend it. If you, I think it's a popular now. It's a popular movie now, but even if you haven't watched it, go ahead. 12th fail. I needed some motivation, so I rewatched it. I started preparing for UPSC, dropped it the second day. I'm just kidding. 12th fail, it really motivates me in a manner that to take action, like to build something of my own. It's not just about studying, but for everything else. It's a great movie. Like how he, like where he came from, what he became, the main character. 12th fail really motivates me. Then I watched Julius Caesar while I was reading the book, reading the drama. I watched it, and I have never seen, like I haven't read many dramas, but neither have I watched any drama movie like that. Great movie. Venom, The Last Dance. I went to watch it with my friends in theaters. So whatever I'm watching in theaters, I always have fun. The most boring film I have watched in a theater is Animal. Like I just couldn't stand that movie. Like I haven't watched a single movie in December, so these four movies are from November. The Wild Robot made me shed a few tears. Great animated movie and a great story. It will really move you. The Substance, really creepy movie, and it was really getting popular because of the cinematography, the story, and the kind, like the way people are obsessed about looking good. Even I am obsessed, but I don't think I will go to that. And The Fall, like the most beautiful movie I have watched in my life. Like cinematography wise, I don't think I have watched anything as good as The Fall. If something I should highly recommend is this movie. Like if you have never heard of The Fall, there is no issue. Now you have heard of, just go and watch it. Watch it, just how gorgeously beautiful it is. Even the story is good, but the story will make you cry. But man, the cinematography is like, I have never watched anything like that. The last movie, I don't know whether I'm going to watch any movie this year. Like there are just 7 more days left, so I might watch something. But the last movie I watched is Karan Arjun in theaters. I rewatched it with my friend. Had a great time. Like Karan Arjun. What else? Shahrukh Khan fan can ask for, like Shahrukh Khan and Salman Khan, to watch it on a big screen. Even though I was rewatching it, I was reminded of my child. We used to watch Shahrukh Khan's movie a lot, and Karan Arjun, Dilwale, and all those SRK's movies, man. They were like on loop. So I had a great time. It felt long, honestly. I don't know. I should consider it a great movie-wise year for me, but I have been to theaters a lot more often than usual. And so now, if I had to pick 5 movies from this list, I would say Haider, The Holdovers, A Silent Voice, Decision to Live, Three of Us, The Northman, 3000 Years of Longing, Uncut Gems, of course, Past Lives, Tumbbad, and The Fall, of course, The Fall. So I don't get much views on this kind of videos. So if anybody has watched this far, please let me know how many movies did you watch this year. If you have any movie recommendation, feel free to leave it in the comments. And thank you for watching. I'll see you. Bye.